Lords of the Long Box, episode 140. This week, we're going to talk about the Hulk and Wolverine movie. We're going to talk about the She-Hulk series and maybe the return of something dark. Ooh.
Bust it. Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Come on and get some, boys.
Back in my legs and compete.
What's good, YouTubeites and long boxers? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box. Welcome to Lords of the Long Box. I almost killed that soft intro. I almost had it, man. Almost got it perfect. But welcome to Lords of the Long Box. Happy new comic book day to you. We got a nice, tight little show going on, and let's do some quick round of introductions. I got my man, Mrs. Prime. Say what's up.
What's going on, everybody? First Wednesday in September. Big news dropping this week from us. Get excited. Otto.
That's right. And also
Big
my
news.
man, Otto from the Grotto. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody? I'm not going to delay it. I'm not going to say anything. We got big news. We got a big time player coming back. We got Darkseid Jedi. What's up?
Oh, now look who's back.
That beat's on that beat.
That's right. Our man Darkseid Jedi is back in the house. Say what
It's been
up.
Far too long, ladies and gentlemen. Far too long. Glad to be back, man. I cannot wait to get inside of this long box.
We are finally back at full strength. This dark side, this was going to say this battle station is fully functional. Death Star. Yeah, so we got some stuff to go through. I hope you guys checked out the long-term spec list. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. It's been tailgating. Shout out Tony Sanders. If you haven't peeped out Tony Sanders' show, Ryan and I he was nice enough to invite us onto What's Your Grail. We got to do a little show and tell. And I'd just like to say that we beat Otto and Justin as far as views.
Questionable at best, right, Justin? Questionable right now?
Maybe by
Questionable.
views. As far as books, I think we had the better books.
I don't know.
there you
You
go.
guys go on there and figure it out, man. I'm just gonna stay neutral. I'm just saying that people are saying that we're much better than you guys, but we're all part of the same
Hey, man.
team.
Same amount of views and a 2.5 weeks less of time. I don't know. I think we'd
No,
have to get the win.
Views aren't important though. That's what I say.
Hey, man, the views are for Tony. That's what we're doing it
That's
for.
right, Tony.
All right, Darkseid Jedi is going to man the live chat. So you guys have any questions, just shoot them up in there, and we'll try to answer as much as we can. But let's get right to it, boys and girls. But first off, let's pay some bills. I don't think they really pay us. But hey, this show is sponsored by KRSComics.com. Go to KRSComics.com. Use the discount code of LOTLB to get 10% off any KRS Comics exclusives. The show is also brought to you by thegeekyswagshop.com. Go to thegeekyswagshop.com. Use the discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off anything in the Geeky Swag Shop, including these awesome Lords of the Long Box t-shirts. They come in white, black, and blue. We're not representing white, but we got the black and blue because we're old and bruised and tired. Let's get right to it, boys and girls. I would say hello to everybody in the live chat, but it would take way too long. Thank you all for coming, and stick around. Later on in the show, we're going to do our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I got about 52 entrants. Sorry, it's closed if you didn't do it by X amount of time, but we've been doing it. But you know what? Stick around because we're going to be doing another one in 2,000 subscribers, which we're 300 away from. So that's pretty good. The channel's relaunched in less than a month. We're close to 2,000 subs. And to be honest, this is almost the anniversary of the 100th episode, actually. You know, on Instagram that has like, hey, your post from last year.
Wow.
My post from last year was our 100th episode. So there you go. For those who've been around for a long time, they know we've been rocking this for quite a long time, man. Let's get right to it. We are hearing that the CW is developing a Superman show. That's right, boys and girls. Not just any Superman, though. It's going to be based on the Man of Steel Superman show, the Man of Steel series. So it's kind of interesting because people are kind of torn with that series. You know what I mean? That they really love it or they really hate it. Basically, it was John Byrne kind of telling his retelling of the Man of Steel, kind of humanizing him a bit more, changing his power set. Eventually, they would probably reset it again. But we're hearing that this is going to be from Greg Berlanti. It's tentatively titled Metropolis. Remember, they had Krypton. Well, it's right now that's the working title. It may not stick. The show will cross over with Supergirl, but have a definite Richard Donner feel to it. If the boys and girls don't know, Richard Donner did the first 2 Superman movies. I'm pretty sure he did the second one too, right? And it'll also be heavily influenced by John Byrne's Superman work from the 80s. That is pretty cool. What do you know about Man of Steel, Otto?
We know a lot. We know John Byrne. When John Byrne did this, I almost choked as a kid because I said, my God, he killed Vindicator. He killed Phoenix. He's going to kill Superman too. This is unbelievable. This came out in 1986. So it only went for 6 issues. But what John Byrne did for this book, though, each book broke down a specific time period for Superman, which was really neat. And it just told the story from his point of view and added a little bit of credibility to the way John Byrne wrote different characters. Lex Luthor was a little bit different. Metropolis was a little bit different, but just great stories because they're individual books during a certain period of time. And John Byrne really, in John Byrne fashion, wrote the stories efficiently and effectively. So, I've got a couple copies of this. I don't know what it's going for, Justin. What do we know about this book price-wise?
It's actually a pretty cheap book. And you know what's very interesting? This is actually the first comic to ever have a variant cover. And if you ever watched my initial video of Variant Spotlight, this was actually on my history video. So 9.8 last sold for $66. And there's actually a collector's edition, of course, which is the variant. And that one sold for $72. But what's interesting is the 9.6 sold for a little bit more than a 9.8. And it actually just sold last month. So who else is going out buying these books other than these secret comic book call cabal of collectors?
I think you meant to say cabal. Just call them Illuminati.
The Illuminati of collectors. But it's really interesting that, we talk about it. Who would go out and just buy this book randomly in August of this year? So
yeah, man, it's good, because it's hard to say go out and spec on Action Comics #1 or Superman. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's cool that they're going to be drawing from this. So hopefully this gets a pop. There's been different iterations of Superman on CW. We reported in the past that WB Warner Brothers doesn't know what they want to do with Superman on the big screen. So basically they're going with Supergirl, but then it's on the CW. You had we saw it at San Diego Comic-Con that Brandon Routh was going to be bringing back a version of Superman for their Crisis event. So all this is going to culminate. You got Arrow's ending, you got Supernatural ending. So Berlanti's going to have some more kind of time slots to play with. And next up is a story that I should have dropped last week or 2 weeks ago, and we were just so jam-packed with news I didn't even get to talk about it. But coming soon to CW is Static. That's right. Static is being fast-tracked by Greg Berlanti and the CW. The character will make his debut in Black Lightning before having his own series. He could initially appear by next season. So obviously, Static was a very popular character when it came out, part of the Milestone Comics with all African-American creators. The guy who created Static #1 is Dwayne McDuffie. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2011. You got any more info on that, Otto?
No, other than the fact that it came out in June of 1993. Let's make it perfectly clear. He's not the son of Black Lightning. He is considered a metahuman, and he has been featured in a few of the animated films. He's made some video game appearances. You go to a couple of cons, you do see a couple of people dressed up as him and stuff like that. But, he does have a nice following. But again, this character is way too modern for me to really
I'm
know
going to
about.
promise to do this for our fans and followers, that when this Static news does get confirmed, and we will get our friend Ken Lashley back on the show, because Ken, I don't know if I could say it yet, but Ken Lashley was working on something for bringing back the Milestone stuff. If you don't know the history of Milestone, I think there's some videos. I think Jeff Johnson or one of the NY Words, somebody did a video about the history of Milestone and all the African-American creators. It's also people of color. I think.
Well, if YouTube didn't take down our original channel, we would have had the interview that we talked to him about that on our video.
Ken Lashley was on our show, and that was about a year ago when Ken was talking about how they're going to be doing some stuff with Milestone. So. Go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry, Otto. You're supposed to lead him. Go ahead.
No, that's it. So I don't know anything about this. I'm sure Justin got some hard facts on this. Justin, what do we know from money wise? What do we got to spend to get this?
Guys, you can see this is a modern book, and what's always interesting about modern books, there's always modern variants. So last book that sold as the cover one, you do see 9.8 for $100. There is a collector's edition that came in a poly bag. That one only
poly bags.
Yeah, polybag, $98. But the one to go for, that platinum edition, $280 on the 9.8 last sold. And as you can see, $17 on a 9.6. I might as well.
Good Lord.
Boy,
That
That's
is
crazy.
a huge. That's
That
I'm
is
telling you,
bad.
that's that modern points, that modern grade, one tick down, man, from a 9.8 to a 9.6. That's a kiss of death on a modern book, man. It's
Right.
almost.
That's
You're not
that.
gonna-
That's that 99-cent eBay bid.
That's right.
Mhm.
Do want to point out though that this is a first appearance, right, guys? And we like that
We
here on
got
Lords of
first
the Long
appearance,
Box.
first
You know,
issues. And
Yep.
it even tells you it's a collector's item right on the cover.
It
yeah,
does.
right on the cover. There you go.
Shame on you for not buying it. They are literally telling you it's a collector's item, so you should have collected it. You don't see that anymore. I wish they would bring that back. You know what else they don't bring? They don't have anymore. They don't have dialogue boxes on covers anymore. That stopped like years ago. But you never noticed that. Remember in the probably the Copper Age, maybe
Bronze Age,
they were talking on the covers. Man, I missed that. I also miss thought bubbles. They don't have those anymore. But we're just getting old, fellas. So, hey, man, if you guys paid attention to the long-term spec list we busted out last week, we got an update on that, actually. I mean, no, the long-term spec list from yesterday, and we've kind of been talking about this for a while now, man. So, long speculated as a film, this is coming to Disney Plus. That's right, boys and girls. Long speculated as a film, Thunderbirds is gaining some speed for a TV series on Disney Plus, but with Kevin Feige, not Jeff Loeb, producing. What's interesting is you have to understand there's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus. Kevin Feige isn't doing it all, right? He's doing the initial wave of like the big guys, Cap, Falcon, WandaVision, Loki, right? But you know, the man, it's only one guy. He can't do all of them. So I would imagine like Moon Knight, Kamala Khan, he may be like an executive producer, but not like hands-on, because it all is connected. But deja vu, let's go over this all over again, man. Since Otto wasn't here for the long-term spec list, why don't you talk about the Thunderbolts, Otto?
Well, I didn't really do my homework on this because we've been talking about it for so long. So, you know, we know the first appearance was the Hulk book with them on the cover, and they're sitting there on the cover. The book's been going around up and down. You can see it. I know somebody's bought it online. Maybe Justin bought it. I might have picked up a copy of it, but we know that book. It's a modern book, and you can see it right there. But Justin, what's it going for?
Well, just to add to Otto's to knowledge, I mean, guys, we love seeing you guys post on Instagram and tagging us anytime we see these. You know, we talk about these books and they pop or they don't pop. We love seeing them, that you guys are picking them up. So you guys kind of are listening, because you want to be in the know. You don't want to have the, what is it, hashtag FOMO if you're missing out. So again, last 9.8 sold for $275. GPA is just over that. And again, the dreaded 9.6, $100.
Can I tell you, I just bought one for $300.
Oh,
There
were
you
you that
go.
guy then?
Well, no, that's GPA.
No, yeah. No,
Like we
see,
say,
you're ready.
don't just spec about it, be about
Be
it.
about
Right?
it. That's
I will put my money where my mouth is, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Who is Matt Dickey May? Just
I don't know.
kick
It's some weird thing. We
kick him
kicked
off.
them.
Just you know, with popularity comes some weird. With great responsibility comes great power, or vice versa. One of those two. We got another one here, man. This one is pretty exciting because I don't know if you heard this, but She-Hulk is being developed for Disney Plus.
Is it?
Really?
You know about that? Yeah, man. I
I
think we
can't
talked.
believe it.
I think we talked about on the Lord show like a month ago that they're bringing in She-Hulk, and she was supposed to be Peter Parker's attorney in the next Spider-Man movie, because obviously he needs an attorney now to help him because he got outed by J. Jonah Jameson. We don't know what's going on with the Sony Marvel deals right now, so you know that could be put on the back burner. But for sure, we know She-Hulk is getting her own series, and we're finding out that we may have a protagonist. Boom. That's right, boys and girls. That big buff woman is Thundra. And we're hitting word from the Black Knight that Thundra will make her MCU debut in the She-Hulk TV series. This is a great book. And you guys are going to trip out when you see the actual information on the pricing in this. But I'm going to let Otto talk a little history about Thundra because she's been around for a while.
Yeah, she has been around for a while. She first made her appearance in Fantastic Four 138, and it was called The Frightful 4+1, Roy Thomas book. And this is a funny book because not only does she appear, but we really don't know where she came from. It turns out she's an alien from an alien world of like almost like Amazons. And the name of the planet, or where she comes from, is called Femazonia. Okay, so Amazonia, Amazon, Femazonia, just a little bit twist there, you know.
Roy Thomas.
Yeah, Roy. You got a little rascally Roy Thomas. And he comes in, she comes down, and she's part of the Frightful Four. So you've got the three characters there. Medusa's involved in it too, but not as a villain. And the story goes on, but really what's really unique about this book is not only does she make her first appearance, there's a lot of things going on in the Fantastic Four. In this book, the next issue, Reed and Sue actually split up. They break up, they separate, and Thundra wants nothing more to kill than to knock Thing down, because it will prove to her that the women of her planet are stronger than the strongest men of this planet.
Or Ben Grimm, he's got Medusa and Thundra just tearing at him.
Tearing at him right there.
Get his rock hard thing on.
Yeah, and he's just trying to do his best. And this was, a fun book. There's a lot of things going on during this time. This is, just another book that you should be probably going after. And Justin, what can we get for it?
Well, like Tim teased, last 9.8 sold for $1,600 in
What?
Whoa.
What?
Jesus.
So,
What?
All right.
What?
clearly,
Why would that book be selling for not $1,600 in a 9.8?
Yeah, just recently.
Look at a 9.6 too. I meant
August of 2019. Wow.
So
I'll tell you, it wasn't me. I just found out
That
about this
wasn't me
yesterday.
either.
Yeah, really.
But even the 9.6, I mean, it is a big price drop, but that was a couple months, months ago. But I'm sure if a 9.6 was online now, it'd probably be, I would say maybe in the $800 to, $1,000, because it is an older Fantastic Four book.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you, man, that there is a secret cabal of collectors that are out there that know these things are happening. So this is the only definite thing that I know that I've gotten from the Black Knight. Speaking of which, this next segment is kind of interesting because I'm going to enlighten you guys a little bit. So about back in May, we were given privy to some inside information by somebody called the Black Knight. He dug, but he found our channel through Comic Tom 101. He was watching that video. He came on to our video that we did, and I talked about there's a secret cabal of collectors. It has to be, because a lot of times, for some reason, the price of books just jump for no reason at all. And we speculated that there is a secret cabal of collectors, and they find out about this information, but they don't tell anybody. And they go out and they buy these books, and then the information will come out. That is the secret cabal of collectors. That is the Illuminati. So a few weeks ago, a gentleman named Mikey Sutton, well, he's been a friend of the channel since he saw the Black Knight report. But a few weeks ago, Mikey Sutton reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I have a story for you." And he's the one that told me about the Sony Marvel deal. And then I ran with it. He wanted to remain anonymous at the time. He said, just file it under the Black Knight report. I talked to the Black Knight. I said, "Hey, have you ever heard of Mikey Sutton? You know who he is?" And he vouched for him. I was like, "Really?" And they said, they're pretty much part of the same cabal of collectors. There's like these guys are privy to the same information. So once I got the okay from the Black Knight, I said, "Hey, Mikey's giving me the story. Can I run with it?" He goes, "Yeah," because Mikey wanted to put it under the Black Knight. He didn't want to be, he wanted to come out with the public yet, but he put it on his Facebook page and it blew up. He got a lot of news on it. So we just said, I'll just continue to do it. And he just says, yeah, just, he's going to run with it. I ran with it. So we were the first to report it after Mikey went public with it, the Sony Marvel deal. Mikey's track record is pretty good. He broke the Fox Disney deal in 2015. It didn't happen for another year later, but nobody believed him when he first said it. So when Mikey tells me something and the Black Knight corroborates it, I have a tendency to believe it. So 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, I dropped the Wolverine and Hulk movie news. Mikey had dropped it first, and he says, "Go ahead and put it on your channel, and then on Wednesday, I'm going to give you more details on it." He just basically put on his Facebook saying, "Hey, I'm hearing a Hulk and Wolverine movie are being made, but no details yet." And then he said, "I'm going to give you the scoop." So this is a Mikey Sutton exclusive for Wolverine versus Hulk. First of all, that's not the title of the film, because they can't put Hulk in the title. If you think about Thor Ragnarok, that was essentially a Planet Hulk movie, but they couldn't call it that because Universal owns the rights to any solo Hulk movie. So if there's a Wolverine Hulk movie, you cannot put Hulk in the title because Universal owns those rights. But you can put Hulk in the movie, as we've seen with Avengers and so on and so forth. Thor Ragnarok, which is essentially a Planet Hulk story, right? But it's just starring Thor and Hulk. Excuse me, I got all verklempt. So this is where we're going with this. So I want to talk about the character first of all, Wolverine and Hulk and their history. And I want to show you some pricing about this to show you how this book has jumped. And it's kind of been obvious that it was coming, but the specifics of it haven't. And I want to talk about Hulk 181 first, created by. Go ahead. I'll let you do the specifics on this particular comic. Then I'm going to let Justin talk about the pricing and then look at the pricing over the last year or two.
Right. So we can definitely talk about that. So, Hulk 180 is the first cameo, even though in the last panel it's his full first appearance, but it's his first, full shot. And then you get into Hulk 181, which is the biggest book of the Bronze Age by far. Came out in 1974, November. Roy Thomas was the editor. Herb Trimpe was the cover artist. John Romita worked on it. Len Wein, rest his soul, was the writer.
And Herb Trimpe, they both passed away.
Yeah, they both passed away. And actually, Artie Smeck was the letterer too, and Artie Smeck's not around either. So this is the first full appearance. This is very interesting because if you have this book slab, you've got to read it. You've got reader copies of it, not reader copies, but you've got the reprints of it. Hulk and Wolverine actually go at it. Wolverine goes after Hulk first and tries to cut him up with his claws, but can't penetrate his skin. He can't penetrate Hulk's skin. So then he sees Wendigo and he goes after Wendigo. They get into a big fight and Hulk realizes, why is a little man attacking my enemy? And then it's like the enemy of my enemy becomes my friend. And there's some other things going on in the book, but it's really a fun read.
Classic comic books trope, right?
Yes,
we
right.
fight, then we realize we're friends and we come together. So
right for that.
So everybody, I mean, if you missed out on this book, really, you can't blame anybody but yourself. I mean, prior to the Fox News, it was a hot book. And then once Disney bought Fox, it really started picking up. So you should have got the copy then, because it's inevitable, right?
Right.
We all know Kevin Feige is a comic historian. He loves the original stories. So let's look at what they're selling for, Otto. Go ahead, Justin.
Justin, lead us into this because we're going to talk big dollars right now.
Yeah,
big dollars.
Trousers.
If you don't know this book and you don't know what it's selling for, that was the last 9.8 sold for $37,000. $1,000, folks. And even an 8.0.
What was the shipping?
Now we're going to get, there was no GPA because it was the last.
No, what was the shipping?
Oh, the shipping?
Better be free. I hate it. Shit.
Yeah, really.
$100, in a brick maybe. But let's deliver that. And then there's an 8.0, which is more doable for people, I would say. And that one sold for $3,600. GPA is actually a little over that. And even if you're getting a little bit cheaper on that side, 5.0s are for $2,000 was the last one sold.
So Justin, let's pull up historical GPA data. And for those new to the channel, GPA is an average of graded book sales. That's why we're so 9.8, 5.0s, blah, blah, blah. But let's go back a year, maybe even 2 years, to show how this book has been selling ever since Disney acquired Fox.
All right. So we're going to just look at a random, grade. I'm going to take a 7.5. So we're going to go back, let's say the past 5 years on a 7.5. So 2015 on the high end, it sold for $1,800. 2016 jumped to $2,163. 2017, $2,250.
Wow.
2018, $3,900. And this year in a 7.5 sold for $4,000.
Good.
So you're looking for it doubled in 5 years.
Right.
7.5.
All right. So
not getting that return on the stock market.
This book has been getting hot, even though there's a ton in the census. But let me give you the deets on this and how it's connected. I'm not saying you should go out and buy Hulk 181 because everybody knows that. But here's what I'm hearing, man. So I talked about it on our show a couple of days ago when I went live with the scarcest information I had that I got from Mikey Sutton was that the immortal Hulk will not be alone when facing Weapon X in the Canadian wilderness. So the story is that there was some mechanism they're going to send the Hulk into Canada to retrieve Wolverine. When he does show up in Canada to get Wolverine, and that's why we were talking about the history of it, but he's going to meet up with a book that we kind of spec'd on already that was on our long-term spec list. Alpha Flight is rumored to be in this Hulk Wolverine movie. So Alpha Flight is also searching for him, so they don't get the impression that a Hulk will get along with them. So it's one of those classic things we just say. They meet up, they become enemies. They're both Alpha Flight. If the history of Alpha Flight is the first appearance is X-Men 120. Vindicator or Guardian was in X-Men 109. In both issues, the Canadian government tries to bring back Wolverine because they believe him to be an asset of the Canadian government. He belongs to Department H. In X-Men 109, they actually called him Weapon X. That's the first time ever in the comic books he's referred to as Weapon X. In X-Men 120, you finally get to see the entire team obviously the great team of Claremont and Byrne. I'll let Otto tell you the rest. Everybody should have this comic in their collection.
Yeah, definitely. This is classic. You should have 109 too, because that's just an epic cover,
That's
great
the first-
story.
Yeah, the first appearance of Vindicator.
That's first appearance of Vindicator, Major Maple Leaf, if they like to call him. But the first team of Alpha Flight consisted of North Star, Shaman, Snowbird, Sasquatch, Aurora, and Vindicator. And they actually kind of get jumped. And let me tell you something, the X-Men get their asses handed to them. Alpha Flight really takes it to them in this. And, there's other story arcs going on, but it's really interesting. And then this book is gone up in price. But Justin, what do we know on this book for price?
Well, at a 9.8, last one sold for $2,200. GPA is just under that. So it's definitely a pretty pricey book. 9.6s, or I would say more doable for everyone. You're looking at a $675 last sale, and GPA is $600.
9.8 is pretty high, actually, from where it used to be. What's interesting about this is one of those one Hulk 180, Hulk 181s, but this is where the market has decided the cameo is worth more than the first full appearance.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And an interesting factoid about this, Uncanny X-Men 120 is also the first time you hear the Wolverine referred to as the name Logan. He actually tells Mariko, "My name is Logan." So that's a pretty cool kind of subcollecting if you want to know the first time he's ever referred to as Logan. He actually tells Mariko, who he ends up having a relationship with, that his name is actually Logan. And this is the other book. What's the pricing on the actual first full?
We're looking at, again, it's a lot cheaper. 9.8 last sold for $552. 90-day GPA is actually a little over that, which is interesting. 9.6 is sold for $258. So, like you said, everyone go out and buy the 120. The 121 is not the book to get.
Right. Just a few interesting things about the 121 was they are still fighting in this and they're still going at it. And this is when Vindicator makes a remark to Heather, his girlfriend / wife at the time, that when they first met, where they first found Wolverine, he was in his feral mode. And that kind of gives you the foreshadowing of a much deeper story in Wolverine. So they do talk about that a little bit, if you can find that in that one panel. But this is a great battle book, and they actually, make peace at the end and stuff like that. But just another good book to have. And again, it's 2-story arc, just like Stan wanted. It's 2 stories or 2-story arc, and that's it.
All right, so that's it for the news, boys and girls. That is a major one, though. So the major story on this, that, we're finally going to get Alpha Flight. And we told you guys Alpha Flight was coming. More specifically, Puck was on our long-term spec list. So, and then what's interesting, Puck's his first appearance isn't on here. It's his first appearance is actually in Alpha Flight number 1. Which is still a cool book. But that's it for the news, boys and girls. A nice, tidy 30 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up our randomizer, and we're going to pick a winner for the thingy thing. Let me go through the names here. So
Jesse,
we never do this right, by the way. So let me see if I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Let me close any important secret documents I have. You guys talk to the chat.
While we're going on, we're going to give we got JLS Comics. He goes, where the mutants are? He goes, they're all in Canada. So shout out to Jesse for that. We got Ricky Taylor. We got the boy who had 7. We had Mr. Unknown Comic Guy. Who else do we have up in here, Justin? What other names you see? Legit Nick.
Yeah, Legit Nick. Rick Taylor. Jason Smith. Dave in the Cave's in there. I see Gorilla Grodd's hanging out.
Crack the Mac.
Crack the back. You better get a little avatar, man. We only give shout outs to avatars, and you got nothing on that, man. You're just an orange bubble.
Let me share this.
Jeffrey wants to know who will play Puck. Who would be a good choice? I could see Peter Dinklage.
Again?
Peter Dinklage, right?
Yeah.
The big brains on you.
Tell me if
Can
you
we
guys
get
see this.
Let's get another little person a job, okay? It doesn't have to be Peter Dinklage all the
It doesn't
time.
have to be all the time, right?
Who else is there, man? Willow's too old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that originally when they did Wolverine in Hulk 181 that he was only supposed to be 5'3" in total height, and that's how big he was supposed to be? Could you imagine Hugh Jackman like minimizing him down to like a hobbit like they did in Lord of the Rings at 5'3"?
Is it? What do you guys see on the screen right now?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right one. All right, so hold on. Oh, it's this one. Okay. All right, you guys. Okay, hold on.
Go to number.
Danny DeVito.
Or no,
Right,
list.
You guys see the dice roller now?
Yeah, randomized.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna roll 2 dice and 10. You see that?
10.
Yes,
Yep,
do.
10 times.
All right. So we're gonna roll it 10 times. Let me pop the list in here. So, and then we'll
Popped
go
out.
over the quick list. Sorry if you didn't make it, but you had time, man. Matt Fords, Gus Chaco, Ray Jr., Danny Lee, Maurice 74 Lord, Check the Circuit, Sith AF, Airboy the Barbarian, Ryan Ginn, Jay Salsa, Eliezer, whatever, Scott Polachek, Conchedo de Amico, Neblin, Jigs, Ring, Gwen, Edward Ospina, Tom Southwell. I'm just killing these names. Matthew Irmarat.
You want me to do it?
Name,
I'll make it even worse.
Wolf Blitz, Jose Manedas, Daniel Ibarra, Miggy Smalls, Two Whiskey Clone, Murfinator, Gorilla Garage, SoCal X, Scott Rowe, Image Comics, Tony Ray, Robello Comics, Johnny Boy, Eric Martins, Jeff G, that's an easy one, Mark Allen, King of the Golden State, Amazing Asian, Joe 4 7s and 1s, Fraggle Socks, I like that name, Scott Miller, Derek Edge, AG Surfer, Joe Brown, Olippo, our friend, Pokecat, great person, Daniel Garvey, Dylan Cameron, Joe Sogado, and Tyler Rolnick. All right. So we're going to click this 10 times. Okay, boys and girls. And the 10th time is the winner of our giveaway. Let's rock this.
Shout out to
1,
Pops Foster, Brick Hunter,
2,
Tony Sanders still there, Rudy Sanchez,
3,
Oh man, Tim.
Gorilla
4,
Grodd.
5,
Oh, that finger action on that clicker.
7,
Sensual.
8,
Mm-hmm.
9.
Ooh, and the big number 10.
Here
Drum
Here
roll.
we go. Here we go.
Boom. Danny Lee.
Congratulations.
Danny Lee.
Danny Lee. So, Danny Lee, please get a hold of me if the prize is not claimed in the next, so we'll give it like a week or so. Then it'll be the next one down, which is collectible paper. If it's not that, it'll be Wolf Blitz and then Tyler Rolnick, unless you guys want to give away something to these top 4 individuals. But we're going to do another one on our 2,000 subs giveaway. So to thank you all for help bringing us back to prominence where we once were. So Danny Lee, make sure you hit me up either on the back of the channel or I'm all over the place. Actually, I'm on Twitter. Just search Lords of the Long Box. You'll see me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all kinds of different ways. So I'm in there. Thank you all for supporting the Lords of the Long Box. Special shout out to all our watchers in the Philippines. ¿Cómo está acá? Salamat. That means hello and thank you. And also, obrigado to all of our, obrigado mi gente de Brazil. That's saying thank you to all of our Brazilian folks. And that's it, man. So nice and tidy. After this show, go peep out the Comic Core Unlimited. They got their live show on right after us, and they like to talk about comic books. Just a bunch of old dudes talking comic books. Justin, any last words?
Yeah, go ahead and check out my newest video on 3 Men in the Basement. It was a cool, I show off all my commissions and sketches that I've gotten over
Those
the
were
years.
sick, Justin.
Very
Those
cool.
were unbelievable.
Very cool video, everybody. Go check it out.
Yeah, so it actually is. I was going to do it a 2-part, but I have so many slabs left that I'm actually going to have to make it a 3-part special. So
Oh, that's a real problem to have.
Hey, man, I got a lot of art. It's really good. So definitely check out part 1. Part 2 is coming this weekend. So that's all I got.
All
Otto, any last words?
Yep, absolutely. 3 Men in the Basement. We're going live this Friday night between 8 and 9 o'clock. Check us out. Check your reminder. Set 3 Men in the Basement down. Got some books coming from our boy KP Henderson. He's got some books for our giveaway. We're almost at 800 subs, so let's get up to 800. And once we get up to 800, I'm going to do a 900 sub giveaway. I've got some slabs, some 9/8 slabs at KP Henderson. Great guy on Instagram, good friend of both the Lords of the Log Box and the 3 Men in the Basement. Also, if you live in the Northeast, up in the tri-state area, the 3 Men in the Basement comic swap is happening September 21st from 1 to 5. Few facts about that are that there's 2 local shops that we have up here. One is the Eye Opener, and another one is Heroes and Hitters. So just so you know, Heroes and Hitters will give a 20% discount on all back issues that day if you happen to pop into their store, Heroes and Hitters in Rocky Hill, Connecticut, and any of their back issues. If you mention the 3 Men in the Basement comic swap, they'll give you 20% off. So if that's not incentive to come up, check out the swap. We're going to be doing giveaways, raffles, trivia, lots of stuff. More importantly, we're getting comic collectors from all over the place to come up, chop it up. More details to come. So thank you very much for watching us. 3 Men in the Basement. Make sure you sub up. Friday night's our next show. So for 3 Men in the Basement, thank you.
All right, Ryan, any last words after Otto
Hey.
took off your bandwidth?
No, man, I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Welcome
letting me
back.
be. Thank you
Oh,
for
you sound
letting
like
me
Marty
be
now.
on your
Remember
show.
that? Who was that? Marty that used to always thank us for
Yeah.
being on the show, and he was actually part of the show. So,
Right.
like, shout out to the winner of the giveaway. Make sure you guys sub up, hit a thumbs up. Make sure you sub up. We're really close to 2,000, and when we hit 2,000 subs, guess what? I got a special package from KRS Comics as a giveaway. So you know how KRS Comics rocks as exclusives, and we're gonna probably throw in some free shirts on the Geeky Swag Shop. So we're about 1,700 now, almost near 2,000. So make sure you sub up for if you enjoy the content, and then we'll do another giveaway at 2,000. It's like deja vu because I did all this last time. The channel went to 5,000 subs. I did it at every 1,000 subs. So you guys are costing me a lot of money. So, until next time, boys and girls, as always, what we like to say in signing off is keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Bust it. Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.